Well, welcome everyone to our virtual happy hour, May 8th. It doesn't feel like May 8th, especially with everything going on and even the weather outside. It seems like if I remember correctly, I think we're supposed to possibly have some snow this weekend or something. I don't know. I just heard May and snow and I didn't like it, but we're here with you. As you can see behind me, I'm here at the restaurant today because we are doing our second week of the chef's table to go at home. And then you see Megan out there, and I'm Megan. Megan, why don't you introduce yourself? Let everyone know who you are.
Hey everybody, you haven't seen me in about a week or two. I'm Megan, one of the bartenders at the Left Bank, and I'm excited to be back making some fun drinks for you today.
Awesome. Thanks, Megan. I'm going to start it off with going over some French wines. I missed last week because I was prepping up for the chef's table at home. So I'm going to go over the three French wines. We've gone over some Spanish and some Italian wines. We've gone over some California wines. Now we're going to go three French wines. French is where wine is really produced. The number one producer, California is second. I'm not sure how much they're second place, but the French kind of mastered the winemaking and they really take it to a next level. So the first wine we're going to do, let me show you the label. This is Le Grand Balloon Sauvignon Blanc. This comes from the Loire Valley. So Loire Valley is right below Paris, and is pretty much in the center of the country. It's a pretty large region for wine, and Loire Valley is very well known, probably best known for their whites. They do. This one's a Sauvignon Blanc. There's a Pouilly Fumé, which is also a Sauvignon Blanc. There's a Sancerre, which is also Sauvignon Blanc. So there's several different types of French wines that you can get Sauvignon Blanc with, or it might just say Sauvignon Blanc on the label. Most Sauvignon Blancs that you're going to get from France are going to be very soft. The Sancerres will be a little more full body. This one is just really fresh, really clean. You can smell just apples, a little citrus, but a really, really nice bouquet in the nose. Really get a nice citrus in the taste, apples in the taste as well. This is a really clean drinking wine. You can drink this by itself. This would be great with any creamy type sauces or like risotto. Nice hot risotto, and then you drink this with it. It'll clear your palate for the next bite of food, especially with creamy sauces and risottos. And again, this is coming from Loire Valley, right in the center of the country, right below Paris. Okay. Next, we're going to go to reds, and our first red is probably one of the hallmarks of French wine, Bordeaux. Bordeaux, just like any region in France, you talk about a region, you talk about the type of wines, the varietal of wines that are produced there. And for Bordeaux, three of the main ones are Merlot, Cabernet Sauvignon, and Cabernet Franc, and those are the three varietals that make up this Bordeaux. And those are the three that make up 85% of the production in the Bordeaux region. So when you talk about Bordeaux, you're talking about those three wine varietals. Okay, and so with this smell, you get a lot of earthiness, oak, tobacco, a little bit of cherry notes, dark fruit, a little plum, but it's really, really more, really just earthy, a little oak, some tobacco. When you drink this, you have to like dry wine because this just dries your whole mouth out. It is, even though there's fruit smells in there, even though you can taste some fruit, there's no sweetness at all. If you like sweet wine, or you like even a hint of sweet wine, you're not gonna want a Bordeaux. But this is lovely. I mean, I like wines like this as well. There's not many wines I don't like, really, but this is dry. This will, this would go well with, beef dishes, braised dishes. Not too many, not too spicy. Again, you want to stay away from spice, but really just hearty dishes and all this would go well with steaks. Depending upon the sauce, maybe pork chops, lamb. Okay. But again, this is, if you like dry, if you like some fruit bodiness, if you like, a little boldness in terms of, how it's made, this would be good for you. But if you want some sweet, you would not like this. Okay. And again, let me show you the label so you can see. So it's Chateau Tour, Chapeau, Bordeaux. And all these are on our wines by the bottle. I'm sorry, wines by the glass. So they are very, very reasonable. So the price point is really good for all these wines. And our third one that we're going to go to, Côte de Rhône. So this is Saint Spirit 2017 Côte de Rhône. So Côte de Rhône, this one's coming from the Rhône Valley, Côte de Rhône. Going off of that. Again, when you talk about wines in French, Bordeaux is the location. It's the name of the, it's not just, it's the name of the wine. It's the location of the wine. A lot of California American wines, we give it a name, and then we have to tell you what grapes in it, because there's no rules like that in French. In France and all, they're, where they're grown, that's what these are certain wines that you have to make there. So this Côte de Rhône is Grenache and Syrah, and probably one of the most famous Syrahs is Châteauneuf-du-Pape. Châteauneuf-du-Pape is a small appellation and actually a town right in the southern part of France, in between Marseille and I forget the other town, Montpellier. So it's kind of north of those two towns in like almost a triangle. So that would be considered southern Rhône, and then northern Rhône would be at the point where Vienne, France is, which is just below Lyons. Okay, so that's the whole Rhône region. Northern Rhône. If some wines will classify themselves by Northern Rhône and Southern Rhône. Most Southern Rhônes are more red wines. Okay, so this one is a mixture of a blend of Grenache and Syrah. This one's going to have similar characteristics of the Bordeaux. It's going to have some blackberries, some cherries, a little spice in the nose. Not a lot. You really don't get any oakiness in the nose. You don't get tobacco. It's really all about that blackberry cherry forward. When you taste it, just like a lot of you know, sometimes you can with stretching up the pops and other Syrahs, you get a little bit of spice right there in the front, but you get a nice rich berries, blackberries, cherries, some plums. You know, this one's not as dry as the Bordeaux. There's a little, you know, a little more sweetness in this one. The acidity and the tannins are kind of medium. You know, it's not overwhelming. This is a really good wine for drinking or for drinking with lamb, steaks. But it can, you know, you can just drink this by yourself. It's not going to overpower you. And you know, I think it goes very well, you know, as a kind of a medium-bodied red wine. I personally like Syrahs and Grenaches, especially Grenaches from Spain. You know, those are very good too. But so, you know, when we go back to all the wines, you know, we talked with the first one was Rhone Valley. So that's in the center, and this is where most of their whites come from. Bordeaux is over by the coast, kind of like southeast coast, just above the border of Spain. And our last one was the Coast de Rhone. This one comes from close to the southern part, near Spain on the Spain's east coast, but right near the Mediterranean. Okay, we'll have these wines on our website, leftbankyork.com, that you can look at, and you'll have to wait to either if we add it to our chef's tables, you'll be able to get them from there. Most of these are SLO, where we can get them ourselves, and we hope to be able to see you guys and you know, have you guys dining in here, you know, soon. And then now we're going to go to Megan, and she's going to do a lovely cocktail, the Highball Cocktail.
Yes. Well, but I'm actually thirsty for some wine right now, so I'm a little jealous. How about we trade cocktail for wine? Anyways, Highball Cocktail. It is one of the earliest cocktails ever invented. Hi, Michael. Crystal and Bob, I saw you too. Back to the highball. It's been a while, folks. The highball comes from at least the 1930s, if not earlier. I have this lovely book, this lovely historical book, the Savoy Cocktail Book. Came to print in the 1930s while the U.S. was still in Prohibition. However, this cocktail is older than that. This is just when it was printed. So there's some history there. Hi, Lynn. I hope everybody has their favorite spirit with them, whether it be Scotch whiskey, rum, a vermouth you wanted to try, some liqueur or some sherry, or even some wine that may be on its last legs, if that's even possible right now. The highball is a very simple cocktail. You don't need any fancy bar tools. You just need a highball glass. And we're going to make this according to my historical book. It's going to be a lump of ice. Yep, they said lump. So there's our lump of ice in our highball glass. I chose the Paul John Scotch whiskey. Well, I'm sorry, I keep saying Scotch. This is actually made in Goa, India. It's made in the way of Scotch. It has all the personality of Scotch, but it is not technically Scotch because it's made in India. We're going to start with 2 ounces of your favorite spirit, whether it be the sherry, the wine, the liqueur, tequila, whatever you want to try. Just like that. There's always a few extra drops in your little measuring cup there, just so you know. You're going to top this bad boy off with some soda water. I have a siphon here, and I'm scared to death that the pressure is really high inside. We're about to find out. Okay. We're going to fill her to the top there. And as you can see, the pressure was high enough. It probably mixed by itself. There's no stirring needed. Side note, anything you add in, if you put a spoon in here to stir it up and some metal, it's going to kill some of your bubbles, just so you know. Ice does too, but we got to chill her down, huh? So that being said, this I propose to all of my clients and all of our Left bank guests that enjoy a specific spirit. Michael Haiti with your Hendrick's Gin. Lynn with, you usually go for the Maker's Mark, if I'm not wrong. And Curry with your orange vodka. I'm forgetting too many names, but take your favorite spirit, put 2 ounces in a highball glass, add a lump of ice or a few ice cubes, top it up with soda water. Why am I telling you to do this? Because it might introduce you to some new flavors and some new aromas that you didn't see before in your favorite spirit that you drink all the time. Cheers, dears. Highball.
Thanks. That was a great drink or so and all. I guess I get that pressure in that siphon or so and all can be dangerous, huh?
On the first one especially, just be aware.
All right. And I think I did see someone. I saw someone posted there. And all. How you doing, Tom DeLuca? And I appreciate you joining us. Say hi to Lannon if you see him. I know he's on permanent vacation. I saw him and Kevin Lyden here for his retirement dinner before the crisis happened. So we're going to go into our cactus salad, and we're going to do a pico de gallo dressing. I'm going to show you the components. I'm not going to blend it up here. All you need is a blender, and pretty much you throw everything in there to your consistency, and then you'll taste that and all. But I'll show you the components after this. So cactus. The first time working with cactus, as you can see there, there's little needles in there. Don't want to eat those needles. So all you just got to do is take a knife and scrape it. You can go back and forth, get the little needles end where they come out. Take all that off. There, you're getting that off. So we'll just move that. And then you flip it. You want to do the other side as well. And then, since I think, there could be other ways, but the edge, I just trim off the edge a little bit. Just take those off. And then there you go. So, and then you want to rinse this off to make sure you get all the other, anything that hung on, So here's a clean one, rinsed off. And then what we do here, you can cube it if you want, big cubes, or I'm just doing juliennes because we're going to put this on a salad. And as you'll see, with this, you'll see some oozing coming out of it, because that's what the cactus does. Very, very similar to okra. Okra, when you cut into it, has that oozing type. And then once you get down to the bottom, the end, kind of gets a little too thick, and it also has that end piece. So then what you do with this, you put this into any bowl, container. And then you would salt this so it draws out all the liquid in there. And then you just let that sit probably at least an hour. And then you can check it in an hour. You can come back, you can come back to it, check it, see if taste one. They taste just like a little citrus, kind of tart flavor. You don't want to put too much salt in it. And then once they've cooked enough, because that's basically what the salt's doing. The salt's cooking it, and then pulling out the liquid. Once it gets to the right consistency, then you want to run cold water over it, toss it around, rinse off all the salt, and probably do that maybe twice, 2 or 3 times at least, and then taste it and all. And just as long as you get a little of the tartness, but none of the saltiness. If it's salty, then you just want to rinse it off a little more. Okay, so now for Pico de Gallo. Main 3 things that are in Pico de Gallo, if you are just making the Pico de Gallo as an accompaniment to tacos, are tomatoes, onions, and jalapenos. And you put in some cilantro, things like that. So all we have here is diced up tomatoes, some raw onions, and some roasted onions. I like a little depth into this my dressing, and then I've got some green peppers and some jalapenos, and then a little bit of lemon juice, and then salt and pepper. You would just throw this in. I would, when you do something like this and all, put in the jalapenos as needed so that you can gauge how spicy you want your dressing. The more, if you threw more in, it's going to be really spicy. Okay, especially when you add acid to it, it's going to accentuate the spice. So if you ever did add too much jalapenos or too much spice to something, you could always add maybe a little honey, a little sugar to balance it out. Okay, so you would put all this in to the blender. You would blend it up, and then you would get kind of that consistency, a little rosy red. I made probably about half a gallon, added maybe 3 or 4 ounces of oil at the end. Mainly what makes all the liquid is the pulp from the vegetables, the tomato, all that. The oil is just there to kind of give it a little emulsification. Okay, so to put this together, we're just going to take a little mescla mix, little carrots, little cherry tomato, and then we already did, and you can see, Cactus has a little bit of ooziness, but don't worry about that. It's actually really, really good. Nice and tart. A little bit of sauce, a little dressing. I don't like to overdress salads. And then just take a nice plate, right there in the middle, and tomatoes all around. And then you can even take, we had even cucumbers, so we'll put some cucumbers all around. Okay, so there you have a nice little cactus salad with pico de gallo dressing. Hope you enjoy it. And now we're going to go back to Megan, and she's going to do and I may or may not pronounce this properly, Caipirinha. I think that was close. Maybe 75%. I think I got it.
You're pretty close. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, I mean, we're all white. We're not Brazilian, so we don't pronounce it wrong. It's okay. The way I learned it was Caipirinha. So if you start to say the word kite and cut the T off, Caipirinha. It's kind of like a kite piranha, but not really. So I just realized that my little tiny bottle of cachaça has a child safety seal on it. So we got to get that off first. So the Caipirinha, we're getting ready for summer, even though apparently we might be getting snow. I don't know what that's about. is featuring the Brazilian spirits of cachaça. Cachaça, it's fun to say. I have my little tiny little Weeba mini bottle. This is an aged cachaça. Unfortunately, we can't get it here in the States, even as far as I know. It's a Brazilian product. I got it at a training abroad. Just putting that out there, sorry. Caipirinha is also a cocktail that is very easy to build in a glass. So we're going to keep things easy today in terms of tools and techniques. This is a built cocktail, and I'm going to show you the classic and traditional way to build it according to the Brazilians. And I'm assuming that if you go to Brazil and they do it, and anybody that does it with a syrup or juice, they're probably just going to throw it away and say, make me a correct one. But I'm going to show you some options today, depending on what you have in your house. First off, we have to start with a lime. You're going to need 1 whole lime, which could give you 2 caipirinhas. I'm going to show you how to cut it properly. And this is based off of a training I was given from a Brazilian. So this is legit. Take your lime by its 2 points. We're going to call this the North Pole and the South Pole. We're going to cut those off. These are the little bitter butt ends of your lime. You're not going to want them. You don't want anything bitter in this drink. So after we cut those off carefully, let me see where you can see this best. Like that. Like that. So you cut the little ends off. Then you're going to cut it down the equator, down halfway. Put the flat end down onto your cutting board. Take the knife through the center. And now you have 2 pieces. From there, I'm going to slice this down the middle one more time. Right here. Hi, Lynn. You miss me yet? So when you get to this, again, we're saying nothing bitter. We don't want anything intruding on the fresh, bright, and lovely flavors of a caipirinha. So what the Brazilians definitely hold true to, and you shouldn't skip this step if you're making one from scratch. With your little wedge of lime, you're going to see this little white pithy piece that comes into the middle of your lime. Place it down and carefully, without cutting yourself, take out that little white pithy piece. This is nothing but bitter flavor that they absolutely say do not put into your drink. Okay? You're going to do that with both pieces. Get rid of all that grossness. Keep it on the side to make bitters if you want. Then we are going to cut these halves in half one more time. So you will have a total of 4 tiny little pieces from half of your lime. Little guys. Okay? That is going to go directly into your double old-fashioned glass. Like so. Then we come to the sugar. If you are using a simple syrup today, I would go with 3/4 ounce. But as I am trying to show you the legit, authentic, classic, old school way of making a caipirinha, which I'm pretty sure is like the only way to make a caipirinha. Excuse me. We are going to add 3 teaspoons. 1, 2, and 3 nice teaspoons. Depending on your preference on sweet and tart, you could always add a little bit more. The lesson I was given, I was a little aghast at how much sugar went in, but I do like my drinks a little more on the tart side. So we're going a little less than what I was told to do. Then we need a muddle. You have your sugar, you have your citrus. We got to muddle it all together. If you don't have an awesome muddling tool, you could use a wooden spoon or spatula. And if by chance you don't have a glass that would fit into, flip it over, use the butt end, okay? I'm going to start this off with our kitchen tool, just to show you it's possible. But then I'm quickly, for time, going to switch to the muddler and put the rum down before it falls off the bar. So what you're doing here is you're extracting the juices from the lime pieces. You're incorporating them with the sugar and helping the sugar break up into a liquid per se. You will always have some granules because there is A, a lot of sugar, B, it is dry sugar. The final thing that is happening in this glass right now, because you put the whole pieces of lime in, you're also getting the stronger points of the lime oils that come out of the skins. I saw something about espresso martini, what I missed. So Nice, good muddle. Take your time with this. Have an espresso, please. Nice. You're going to end up with some juicy mixture like this. I hope you can see that with the glare from the windows. There's some juice in there now. All you have to do from here is add your ice. Does anybody have any questions? Is there something I didn't cover or might have been confusing on this? Go ahead and type those in real quick. We're going to fill that up with ice, and then we're going to add 2 ounces of our cachaça, or our mini bottle, however much it gives. Yes, it is. This is a good digestif. I would say it could work as an aperitif because of the sugar content, but definitely a good digestif after a big meal of meat, which is kind of what South America as a whole does. They love meat. My husband's Argentinian, I should know. But we drink red wine out there. Or if you're brave, you drink the Fernet and Coke. So this little bottle is giving me about an ounce and 3/4. We're just under the mark of a 2-ounce pour. And we're going to give this little bad boy a nice little stir, kind of a jostling and a stir to mix up the sugar. Ooh, I want to go to the Amazons. As long as, Johnny, you have to kill the spiders. I don't do spiders. We're going to give that a quick little jostling to incorporate all the ingredients. There is no garnish because the limes are already in here for you. And we have a caipirinha. Now, quick note, if you don't have cachaça at home, it's okay. You can substitute a lovely rum. This is a kula rum from Hawaii. Small notes of pineapple and coconut. It's delicious. And if you were to make a caipirinha with rum, you would call it a caipiríssima. Sounds Italian, but it's not. Caipiríssima. Or you could sub in vodka, and then you would have a caipirosca. Make sense? So a caipirinha, if you have rum at home, a caipiríssima, or if you have vodka at home and it's your preference, a caipirosca. And here is your simple cocktails of today. Cheers, dears.
Wow, that's a lot of great information there, Megan. That's a lot of stuff and all. I think hopefully everyone was taking notes on that. I was not, but hopefully you were.
Send me your questions. We'll answer all of them.
If you weren't taking notes and all, you can easily go to leftbankyork.com to find all the recipes. You can watch this later on, from our website as well. Just to review, we went over some French wines. Sauvignon Blanc from the Loire Valley, Bordeaux from Bordeaux, France, and Côtes d'Aron Syrah Grenache blend. And then we also did a cactus salad that we're using in our chef's table for this week, which was we did Mexico. And this weekend's the last weekend. You can still order for tomorrow. At the end, we close out ordering at 9 o'clock for tomorrow. If you wanted to pick up any for tomorrow, but next week and for the next 2 weeks, we're doing Viva la Cuba. So we're going to do Cuban fare for the next 2 weeks. We're going to do a corn and fish fritter as an appetizer. We're going to do Havanese pork loin with yellow rice and black beans and jicama slaw. And then we're going to finish it off with a little bit of rice pudding with toasted coconuts and grilled pineapple. Okay. From what I've gathered from the Cuban cuisine and all, they do have a mixture of kind of like a little African cuisine, also some Eastern cuisine from the Chinese and Japanese. So, it's still a little bit of a melting pot. Okay. So that's all from me. Megan, you have anything else that you want to say? Anyone you want to say hi to?
I want to say hi to everybody, and I can't wait to do that. But let me see. I said Crystal and Bob, Michael and Melanie. Melanie! Oh my goodness, this one was kind of for you. Try this with your Malibu and tell me what you think. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. Holly, Eric, Johnny, Chad, Robert, wherever he is, Lynn, Chuck, who else? Come back to me.
That's a lot. Yeah.
Let me, and we will get to talking. But in terms of Cuban food, I think we're gonna have to go back and revisit some mojitos and some, I miss you too, some mojitos and some espresso martinis. We might have to do a revamp.
And we're hoping and we're interested in what the legislation is going to do for the cocktails to go. From what I know, it's still in the state Congress. I think it went from one house, but I think another house. I'm not sure if it's the Senate or the House is looking to hopefully approve that as soon as possible. What? Yes, the bug in my ears said to call your senator, congressman to push that along and make sure that we do hopefully approve that, because that would help restaurants. Just to put a shout out to all the restaurants downtown that are doing to-goes and curbside and anything and everything. Help support them. Help support downtown. All the restaurants, Central Market, Revival, Rockfish, White Rose, One Hospitality, Handsome Cab. And again, we are also doing our chef's tables on Fridays and Saturdays. This is the second week, and we're doing it for the next 2 weeks. Now it's going to be a Cuban fare. That will be up. The menu and buying tickets will be up Sunday, so you'll be able to do that. We appreciate it. I'm going to actually get a little more wine, and we appreciate everyone coming on. We miss you guys. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you next week on our virtual happy hour. Bye.